Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on today's video, and today with us we have the all-new 2022 GMC Yukon AT4. Now what the AT4 Yukon is the AT4 trim level is just the more off-road and rugged duty version of the Yukon that can be shown by these very meaty 20-inch wheels right here, the red tow hooks in the front, the skid plate, and the greater approach angle. And really just the overall look of the Yukon AT4 is very distinguishable amongst the other trim levels, and that can be obviously denoted by the massive AT4 badge there. And so this is just a gorgeous vehicle overall. And I would like to personally thank Lafontaine Buick GMC for inviting me down here in order to make this video happen and to film the 2022 Yukon, and an exclusive thank you to Miss Jessica Morgan for making this video possible. Alright, so coming to the front fascia of the Yukon AT4, as you can see, this is going to be the GMC styled C-shape headlights right here. Your DRLs, which is daytime running lights, are going to act as your turning signals as well. And you do have LED headlights right here with your high beam right there, and down below your full LED fog light. So on all trim levels of the Yukon, you're going to have full LED exterior lighting. And coming right here, as you can see, we do have our turning signals on the mirror here, as well as the camera for the 360-degree surround vision camera package. These mirrors are going to be heated, power folding, auto dimming on the driver's side, and you do have your blind spot alert right there on both your side mirrors, and they will illuminate amber color when somebody is in your blind spot. And when you activate your turning signal in the opposing direction, it will start to flash and vibrate your safety alert seat if you have that, or it will beep at you depending on which feature you have set. So the Yukon that we have with us today is finished off in onyx black, and this is a gorgeous color for this vehicle, especially the AT4. And coming to the rear here, we do have our full LED illumination back here for the rear, as well as your reverse lights, which are going to be LED as well. And we have the quad exhaust so that the massive 6.2 liter V8 up in front can breathe. AT4 badging back here, as well as Yukon badging. And another camera here for your reverse camera. And on the AT4, this is like a satin steel color right here for the accents. On other trims it would be chrome. So I think that's very nice how they did that to distinguish and just give it more of that AT4 style with the steel look. Your rear wiper is going to be tucked underneath your spoiler here, as well as the third brake light mounted up top there. Now, this being the XL Yukon, this is going to be roughly 15 inches longer than the regular wheelbase. So as you can see, the way to distinguish the XL, if you can't tell, is by looking at the rear door. If the door arches with the wheel well, that's the standard wheelbase, but the extended wheelbase just has a straight line down, as you can see. And on all four door handles here, we do have our touch active buttons here. So if you do have the key fob in your pocket, you can just go ahead and press the buttons on the door handles when the vehicle's off, and it will unlock your doors. And we are unfortunately missing the power running boards due to the chip shortage going on right now, but overall it still is a super nice vehicle. And coming to the front here, you do have your forward-facing park assist sensors, and you also have parking sensors in the rear as well. Shark fin antenna up top, as well as your blacked out roof rails, it being the AT4, rear tinted privacy glass. Now if you get the Yukon with the 5.3 liter V8, you're gonna just have regular 87 gas needed, but if you get the 6.2 liter like this Yukon has, that's new for 2022, you can actually get the 6.2 on the AT4. Premium fuel is going to be recommended, but not required. And it is, of course, going to be a capless fuel design. And mind you, this fuel door is just massive. That's it compared to my hand. And coming back up to the front, you can see more of that satin design right here, as well as the satin inserts, as well as a camera up front right here for that 360-degree surround vision camera package. And up top, you're going to have your forward collision warning systems, and then that's for your heads-up display right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look underneath the engine. And here we are viewing the 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8. Now, Yukon's going to have 3 different engine choices. The standard one is going to be a 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. That's going to make 355 horsepower and 383 pound-foot of torque. But we have the bigger 6.2 liter that's going to make 420 horsepower and 460 pound-foot of torque. And you can opt for an optional 3-liter inline 6-cylinder diesel that's going to make 277 horsepower and the same 460 pound-foot of torque as found here in this 6.2-liter V8. All 3 engines are going to be mounted to a 10-speed automatic transmission as standard. And as we approach the Yukon, having the key fob in our pocket, as you can see, doors are locked. Just press the button and the doors unlock, lights flash. And we are greeted with the AT4 exclusive jet black and brandy perforated leather appointed seating. Beautiful interior. Driver's seat here is going to be a 10-way power adjusting seat with 4-way power lumbar right there. And you can see we do even have the brandy colored piping as well. And AT4 that is embroidered into the front row headrest. So overall, the layout for the 2022 Yukon is relatively the same. However, due to the chip shortage, we are going to be lacking on some features, but still, again, a really nice vehicle. Now being 2021, it is of course going to be a push-button ignition vehicle. Just have the key fob inside the vehicle to press the brake pedal and push the engine start-stop button to start the vehicle. And as you can see here, first off, we have the all-new digital gauge cluster that is found in the all-new 2022 Yukon. Now for the Tahoe, this instrument cluster is going to be found in the LT and above trim levels, and for the Yukon, the SLT and above. On Yukon, the SLE is going to have the analog gauge cluster, but still with the digital center screen, and the Tahoe and the LS is going to have the same setup as well. And the software as well is a tad bit different. It is now run by Google and not by General Motors themselves. So you will see if you get into a new Tahoe or Suburban or Yukon. This doesn't even include the Escalade. The Escalade has its own unique software system, as many of you know. So this does not include Escalade, just Yukon and Tahoe. And now taking a look at the overall layout is exactly the same as the previous generation, but taking a look at our driver's door panel, we're going to have our power door locks right here, power window controls, power mirror controls, and of course, this being an AT4, which is up the spectrum pole, you're going to have power folding mirrors that are breakaway as well. And all 4 windows are going to be auto down, however, only the front 2 windows are auto up. And we have acoustic laminated glass, so in order for active noise cancellation. And then our 4-wheel drive selection buttons right here. So 4 high, 4 low, 2 high, and automatic. Our different mode selections. And we have the optional air ride suspension that I will show you guys. So clicking on this button, you can actually adjust the ride height of the air ride suspension. So we're on normal ground clearance. We could select entry, exit, ground clearance. So you can see that little logo right there is telling us that the vehicle is currently lowering. So I will show you guys each individual suspension setting. Alright, and that was the air ride suspension. I would highly recommend that if you get an AT4 Yukon. And right here we do have our memory seat, so in order to set, press set and hold the corresponding number, and that will program your seat. And you also have the exit feature right there, and more storage in the doors. Perforated leather right there, And then we have faux carbon fiber up top, stitched leather up top on the door panel as well. And more storage down below with a cup holder. Right here we have our electronic parking brake, our lane keeping assist that we can enable and disable, the rear outlet in the back, and turning on our park assist and turning it off, traction control, hill descent control. And then now we have an actual physical button that when we press it, the 360-degree camera system will actually appear now. We can see we have a multitude of different camera angles. We can zoom and see all the way around this vehicle. Pressing X to cancel. Heads-up display controls right here, so as you can see right there, let me go ahead and zoom in so we can adjust where it is on the windshield, the different information that is displayed, as well as the brightness of the heads-up display. Trailer braking controls for gain. Headlight controls as well as your gauge controls. And fog lights right there. Hood release down below. And the steering wheel is going to be electric for tilt and telescoping. Now coming to the steering wheel itself, it's going to be fully leather wrapped with the brandy stitching all the way around, as well as our collision alert and a heated steering wheel right there, and our cruise control settings and the thumb pad here to control our center screen here. And we have our airbag as well as the faux wood accents throughout and the horn. Now we have a single stalk here for our turning signals and wiper controls for the front and rear. And coming to the right of the wheel, we have our push button ignition. Now let's go ahead and move on to the center display. Now this again is going to be the full digital gauge cluster, new for the Yukon for the 2022 model. So scrolling down, we can see an abundance of different features and information about the vehicle. And you can custom tailor this display to your discretion. Tachometer and the speedometer over there. Vehicle has 2 miles for the odometer, temperature and fuel. And then up top there, that shows you your speed limit. Again, for the previous videos, this is going to be your electronic shifter. So as you can see, we're in park. To enable reverse, just pull on the toggle. As you can see, our 360-degree camera system pops up. Push for neutral, pull for drive, and then low gear, press the L, and you can manually shift the gears right here with these push buttons, and push P for park. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this screen. Now, overall, this whole software system on the 2020 Yukon is not going to be made by General Motors no longer. This is going to be Google software found in the new Tahoe, Suburban, and Yukons. As you can see, the whole layout is totally different, but relatively the same features. So you can see Google News for an example, and we even have built-in Google Maps. And when we click on settings, of course, we have an abundance of different systems for the vehicle. We can control the climate with the screen. Rear media to turn on and off the rear media screens. And then we have audio, maps, phone, cameras, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, rear media, my GMC. This vehicle actually has a Wi-Fi hotspot and trailering. And so let's go ahead and take a quick audio sample of the 9-speaker Bose audio system. stellar sound quality coming from this Bose Centerpoint audio system. I have to say, this is a really good sound system for this vehicle. Coming down below, we have our audio controls right here for the screen and our controls for the tri-zone automatic climate control. Rear climate control right here. You can turn the rear climate on and off and to lock out the rear climate, and then also to show the rear climate controls up on the screen. And our heated and ventilated seats right here, and the same controls for the passenger. USB type A, type C, and a cigarette lighter right there. And right here is going to be your wireless phone charging, 2 cup holders, and then coming right here on these pillars on the sides of the center console, this is going to be nice soft stitched leather right here, and then storage right here. And then coming down all throughout, it's going to be nice perforated leather with stitching, and that same brandy stitching up top, and a nice soft leather stitched dashboard. This is pretty cool too. This is going to be, actually, a lot of people don't know what this is. This is actually supposed to be for your sunglass holder. You could feel it actually is felt lined. And your hazards. Center console. You can get an available power sliding center console, but the chip shortage, some vehicles don't come with that. It's in a limited edition thing right now, but we have perforation in the center here, and this used to be the old location where the wireless phone charging is, or was, excuse me, but thankfully they placed it right there. And opening the center console, you can see it's absolutely massive. That's my iPad for scale, and then we have this that you can remove as a little storage tray, and it is illuminated as well. Coming up here to our headliner controls, we have OnStar right there, our passenger airbag to let you know if it's on or off, and the controls for our power panoramic sunroof. As you can see here with the black headliner, this just lets a lot of light in, and it is an absolutely massive pane of glass mounted on the roof, and it slides and tilts, so when we push back on slide, it opens all the way back. But it's like 35 degrees outside, so we're gonna shut that. And then it does tilt, just to let a nice crack of air in, and then pressing the shade button the opposite way will close the shade. And that is the panoramic sunroof. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the rear seating area of this Yukon. How do I say it like that? Yes, this Yukon. But coming up top, we have more of that black leather with the brandy stitching right there, and the faux carbon fiber accents right there, and more of that black soft stitch leather, perforated leather right there, and more storage down below. And again, another cup holder, AT4 kick plates, and then still a little disappointed about the no power running boards or the chip shortage, but a bit understandable. And coming to the seats, these are going to be the captain seats. You can of course get a bench seat configuration, and then these are going to be your rear media screens here that are going to be 12.6 inches. And so settings, we can control the screen and what's displayed on it. These are going to be on HDMI, no more of these DVDs. Double click to turn the screen back on. You can pair Bluetooth headphones or switch it to speakers. You can see HDMI, and they do tilt as well. Rear map pockets, and then our rear climate controls. Temperatures, auto, and then heated seats for the rear here. HDMI ports, USB type C for charging, and then right there a 110 volt household outlet. And that power sliding center console would actually basically just move the cup holders more towards the rear in order to have more of a convenience for the rear passengers. So this is me sitting in the middle position of the third row, plentiful amount of legroom, but sitting behind this with this new, for the new generation of Yukon, these rear suspension that's fully independent, I have a plethora of legroom and headroom. Air vents up top on the roof here, and LED illumination back here, and the seatbelt for your third passenger. Cup holders and USB type C on both sides. Now, in order to gain access to the third row a bit easier, there's a button right here for the power seats, so pressing it once folds it down, and the second time allows you to gain easier access to your third row. There we go, moving the headrest up. Now the seat slides up a little bit when you do that for some reason, unsure why, but doing the same process to get out. And climbing on out is as easy as that. Now we do have a hands-free power liftgate, so placing the key fob in my pocket, showing you my hands and kicking underneath the rear bumper here. Now this being an XL model of the Yukon, you're going to have much more room behind the third row. As you can see here, this is just literally bigger than behind what my mom's Equinox has. It's just ludicrous with the amount of room that you have back here. And lifting up here, more storage down below. Your spare tire is going to be mounted below the vehicle. And to control the power folding seats in the third row, there's these buttons right here. And then folding these down, see we have a huge amount of room. Not quite sure what the specs are at the top of my head. I would need a cheat sheet, but of course they're going to be in the video. And then to fold the seats up, just push these. And the second row you have to fold up by hand, which that's fine. Close the liftgate, key fob button inside, hands-free feature or button right there. And this is a programmable liftgate, meaning that if your garage is a bit too low, you can program the specific height for the vehicle, for the liftgate. Now checking out the passenger seat, very similar setup of course to the driver's side with the door, more of that faux carbon fiber accents throughout, and up top on the door panel here, more storage down below with the cup holder. And the passenger seat too, like the driver's, is going to be a 10-way adjusting with 4-way power lumbar. So if I go ahead and adjust the seat to, shut the door all the way. If I adjust the seat to my preferred seating position, I can actually move my seat up even more. I have an excellent amount of room in here. I'm 5 feet 10 inches tall, so I'm not the tallest frame in the world, but I have a great amount of room right here. And on all 4 of the seating positions, you have grab handles, dampened glove box, which is of decent size. However, it's lacking illumination. And I think for the size of the vehicle, it could be a little bit bigger. And that's just speaking for the overall huge size of this vehicle. Power door locks right here, and more of that stitched leather up top with the brandy colored stitching right there. Now there's no button. This is just a little thing that I found out actually on watching an Escalade video, is that there's no physical button to turn on. Let's say you want to turn on all lights of the Yukon or Tahoe or Escalade, you press it to just turn on an individual light. But if you want to turn on all of the interior lights, you have to press and hold one of these front buttons here, and there you go, all your LED illumination turns on. And then if you want to shut it off, just press and hold that same button and it all shuts off. And you can actually, I failed to mention this earlier, you can actually fold your third row with these buttons right here. Same thing for the other side, and you can fold them back up. And there's a red light there to show you which one is down and which one's up. Power liftgate control right there, and our home garage link. These do detach, of course, and slide. And Bluetooth microphones mounted up front. All right, taking a look at the window sticker here. This having the 6.2 liter V8, you're going to use 6.2 gallons every 100 miles with an average of 16 miles per gallon combined. 14 city, 19 highway. 22 Yukon XL 4-wheel drive AT4 in Onyx Black. 10-speed auto with an MSRP of $80,815. That is no chump change per se, but if you had the money to spend, why not? All right, let's go ahead and shut the vehicle down. There goes the rear seat reminder to let you know you may have a bag or, God forbid, a child in the back seat and you don't want to leave them in your vehicle. And and this was the full inclusive review of the all-new 2022 GMC Yukon XL AT4, and thank you very much for watching.